Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and I am breaking a hiatus to just say hello. I don't have really any plans for this stream. I just wanted to pop in because I just can't stay away and say howdy to anybody who happens to be hanging out this afternoon. Feel free and leave comments if you're watching live and say hello and chat with me about whatever you want to talk about. I have been on kind of pop culture blackout, internet blackout the last couple of weeks because of trips and family vacation stuff, and I just had a family reunion, and the week before I was in Florida all week, so I have not seen new movies. I've not been keeping up real hard with news. I've heard about a couple of things here and there. Feel free to enlighten me about anything you think I need to know about that I don't know. But yeah, I have been just doing a lot of family things and kind of missing the channel, missing you guys, missing the work, and thought I would just stop by. I also wanted to do this because I'm testing out a new webcam that I just bought, and I wanted to see if there was any marked difference in quality from my last one. Hopefully there is, because I spent a little bit more than I was going to, hoping that I could get a better frame rate and that lighting would be a little bit better and such. But welcome everybody, thanks a bunch for popping in. If you're in here already, Brightburns is here, Darren Root, G Stone, Tim Drake, The Real Warzog, good to see you. G Stone, what's up folks? G Stone mentioned the Elvis movie. Austin said he saw that and liked that quite a bit. I think maybe somewhat ironically, he said it was insane. It was everything he wanted it to be. So that's cool. A lot of the stuff that's in the theater right now, I'm probably going to wait until it comes out on video, especially since I'm so late as far as reviewing things goes, and I'm not sure what things I'm going to talk about and what I'm not going to bother with until down the road. These days I do so much more retro and things just, well after the fact than anything, but sometimes things will come out that I feel like I've got to weigh in on, and I did that with Jurassic World Dominion, which was kind of unfortunate because that was awful, and that's why I didn't do a spoiler cast on that. I just did a real quick how we felt about. But anyway, I am only gonna chat for you or with you for about 25-30 minutes, about half an hour today. I'm just running around a lot. I've got to take my son to dance a little bit later. So much dance stuff lately with Jason. He had a wonderful time in Florida. He had a dance competition and convention there. Had to take a bunch of classes. He had lots of like I said, it was also a competition. He had several dances that he competed with, and he had to do 4, I think, and he placed in all 4 of them. We did a stream where we showed, I think we showed the trophy that he got for second place with his tap solo, but he placed in everything that he did, and we got to go to Universal on that trip, which was absolutely wonderful, and maybe I'll put together pictures and be irritating and give you a family slideshow next time I see you on the next Captain Logan show or something. But we got to go to the Jurassic Park section. We went to, I should say, not the Universal side, but it's all Universal, but there's 2 parks. There's Universal Studios and there's Islands of Adventure, and we did that because I wanted to see the old school Marvel stuff, which didn't disappoint. It was wonderful. It was like a snapshot of 90s Marvel, and like MCU and current Marvel stuff had barely touched it, although the ways in which it did was cool, because there were some neat signed pictures of actors from those movies and a couple props and things here and there, and the comic shop had all the current comics that are for sale right now, and I'm not keeping up with current, and I didn't really care about that, but it was cool that comic shop was actually sort of a comic shop. It had some old trades and things, but anyway, we did Jurassic Park, we did Marvel, we did Harry Potter. There's the Dr. Seuss area, which is shockingly fun, and we did a lot more there than I would have expected we would do, but we had a wonderful time, and if anybody that's been there, if you have any questions about that, feel free. We didn't do any roller coasters. I mentioned this when we went to White Castle. Yeah, I went to White Castle. People had been trying to get me to go to White Castle for some reason, and I was in the neighborhood and close to one finally, and I was like, I'm gonna hurry up and do this before Austin or Connor have a chance, or DJ. So I managed to do that, and it was extremely mediocre food, and I have no reason or intention to ever go back, but there is a video with me at White Castle now, so knocked that off my bucket list, I guess. And then we got this. I did hear about this. We got this bizarre news. A couple people messaged me the other day to make sure that I knew about this. I'm forgetting who exactly. I think Austin told me about it. And then we had another subscriber, another patron. Was it Sakib? I can't remember. But anyway, somebody, a couple people messaged me and were like, hey, they're building a White Castle set. They're building, or maybe it's even a freestanding White Castle, but they're building a White Castle for the Ironheart show. So a week after Captain Logan goes to White Castle, we find out that Marvel is building one. And so now it's going to be very related to what I do in superhero movies. And that's hilarious. Anyway, I couldn't even believe that that was happening. Let me see what folks are saying here. Rainbow Nightmare. Cap, have you seen Lightyear and Thor Love and Thunder? Like I said, I've not been to anything in the theater since the last thing I reviewed, Jurassic Park. Or Jurassic World. Jason and I were going to see Lightyear while we were in Florida, and we didn't get to it. There were just a lot of other things we wanted to do. We ended up going to a really cool miniature golf place, and we just went to go play miniature golf. It was indoor, it was blacklight, it was really cool. And then it turned out that it was part of this whole like amusement mall that had a lot of cool things in it, including a movie theater, and we thought about going ahead and seeing the movie since we were there, but then they had a car museum, and they had just opened a James Bond museum, and we didn't have time to go to the Bond museum, or to go to either of those. We were going to go the next day. It didn't work out. It was a whole thing, but we did eat at the James Bond restaurant, and that was awesome, so we did get to see some props and some, I'm streaming. We did get to see some, I'm going to go ahead and just turn this off so you guys don't hear that anyway. But some props from Bond and cars and stuff. So that was really super cool. Lightyear I am hoping to see. I don't know if I'm going to get around to seeing it in the theater, like I said. And Thor, just full disclosure, I don't want to go to that. I just don't. I hated Ragnarok. I'm hearing nothing but not great things about the new one, and even folks that like Ragnarok, it sounds like are not liking that movie. I'm not saying I'm not going to go. I just haven't decided yet. I don't want to. If I can work it in, I will, and I'll shoot something quick. And if somehow, miraculously, I like it, I'll talk longer than I would if I just have nothing but complaints. But I really don't want to do 2 hours on Love and Thunder after I was in something of a minority on Ragnarok. Not that I have to be in the majority, not that I have to agree with everybody. I just don't want to be a sourpuss. I just don't want to show up and, I mean, look, I'm not going to pull my punches. So if I really dislike something and I choose to talk about it, and of course eventually on Rewind I will, and I'll go through it all. But if I really hate a thing, I just don't want to do it over and over and over again. You know, you do a commentary, you do a long spoiler cast, you do a commentary, and eventually you do a rewind, and it's exhausting and it gets not fun, especially for people that kind of like the thing. So I don't know. If I hate it, I just don't want to go on and on and on about it, because I know eventually I will have to, and I don't want to be super redundant if I can help it. So, and my time is limited. So anyway, I've just not decided yet. If I go, I will do something on that movie, but I'm not promising a long spoiler cast, is what I'm saying right now. Anyway, let me see what else folks are saying, though. Adam March, hey Cap, I think Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, and then it dropped down. Maybe the best dark ride out there. I don't know what he means by dark, but it was wonderful. If you're talking about the same ride that I went on at Universal, yeah, that was great. Like I said, we didn't do roller coasters, but we did do some 3D rides. So we did that, and we did the King Kong ride, which was right next to the Jurassic Park area, and it was King Kong fighting a T-Rex, so it kind of felt like it belonged there. And we didn't do any other Jurassic Park rides because Jason didn't want to go on the Velocicoaster, and I don't love jerky, fast roller coasters anymore. When I was younger, I did some of that, but it was never really my thing, and the older I've got, I think a lot of people have this, the older I've gotten, just the less fun that is for me. But it was difficult to not get on a thing called Velocicoasters because of my obsession with Velociraptors, but I wasn't going to force my kid to do it if he didn't want to, of course, and I wasn't going to make him just sit there and watch me do it. Mercer Create, the Orville New Horizons is awesome. I love what I've seen of it so far. but I've only watched the first couple episodes. Cowabunga with a bunch of exclamation points. Hi there, way to be positive. Random question, but do you remember Surge Soda? I do. I do remember Surge. I was a big fan of that soda when it was out back in the late 90s. I drank it a lot. Much to the consternation of my digestive system, I'm sure, but I loved it. And then years later, the Surge movement brought it back for a while. Got Coke to finally, they got Coke's attention. They had a big billboard like right across the street from one of Coke's big manufacturing plants or the home office or something, and they finally got their attention after years of trying. And then it was in a lot of gas stations and Walmarts for a while, and then I think the hype for that and the sales for that kind of wound down. So now you can only get it at some like fountain drinks in certain restaurants, certain fast food places. But yeah, I drank it some when it came back, and then I quit drinking soda altogether right after my kidney stone. So yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. And I had quit for a while, and then I came back, and then that was a mistake. And but I've told you guys this before, so some of you guys have heard this. If that hadn't happened, I never would have known that I had kidney cancer, and I got surgery for that, and and I'm fine now, and I didn't have to deal with any kind of issues, side effects, anything with that, and didn't lose any of my kidney or anything. So that was really lucky. So ultimately, I'm glad that happened. So I'm glad. I guess it was good that I went back for a while and drank Mountain Dew and Surge, although that might have caused it. So then maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, that was very rambly to say. Yes, I do remember Surge. And he says, it's funny, we're all about health now, which is good, but in the 90s, it was just kind of like, who cares about health, dude? Yeah, that is what it felt like, absolutely. Somebody just mentioned that Lightyear is about to be on Disney Plus soon. Remo Nightmare, Lightyear will mostly be on Disney Plus, most likely, pardon me, in the next month. With the IMAX scenes, I watched Multiverse of Madness on Disney Plus. That movie is fully formatted for IMAX. Have you seen it that way? I guess I have. I didn't really notice the IMAX-ness of it. I don't always have the keenest eye for that kind of thing, so if I watched it that way, I didn't notice. But I did watch it on Disney Plus, so if that's the default, then I saw it that way. But if it isn't, and you have to toggle it, then I did not. But I did watch it once when it came on Disney Plus. Pardon me, hold on. Because my mom wanted to see it. She and I tried to go to the theater just before it left, and the power went out at the movie theater, and we didn't get to see it. So I invited her over once it went to Disney Plus. Let's see. Grillin' Pirate Pete. Hi there. Anyone else excited about the DC animated Super Sons movie? I either didn't realize or had forgotten that they were making one. I'm a little bit behind on those. I haven't seen the Catwoman movie yet. I need to do that. And I think that's on HBO Max, so I don't even have to buy it before I watch it, and maybe I'll do a quick video. But maybe I'll do that on the hiatus before I come back. And I keep saying hiatus. It's like 12 more days, right? Because I'm going to come back in full force in August for request month. Going to do a lot more requests than normal. I've got a backlog, and I want to review some things on Fridays as well as Tuesdays. That's my plan right now. But anyway, Ben Kelly, have you seen any more episodes of Strange New Worlds? Yes, I finished it. I've seen all 10, and I want to do a spoiler cast or a quick how I felt about the whole season. I don't know when I'm going to have a chance to do that. If I do, it may have to be pretty broad strokes because I don't know that I'm going to have time to go back and rewatch any of it. But my wife is behind. She's only seen half of it. And so maybe I'll watch the back 5, and I'll have at least seen each of them twice, even though it's been a little while. Because I was watching them when they would drop, and then I would watch them with my wife. So the first 5 I've seen twice. The first couple episodes I've seen like 3 or 4 times. But yeah, I will say real briefly, I didn't care for the last 5 as much as I liked the first 5. That last half I thought was a little weaker. I like some things about each, certainly, but it didn't ultimately live up to the expectations that I developed when I was so surprised that it was watchable and that it was telling real stories and it felt like actual Star Trek. It always felt like, certainly not the greatest quality Star Trek. It was a little mediocre, but it was much, much better than what they have been doing. And it seemed like a proof of concept of what they should have been making in the first place, and then we could move forward from there, certainly. There are several things I'm not, a big fan of the choices of, and you kind of have to throw continuity out the window. That's really whatever at this point. But that last episode was interesting and had some fun things in it. I'm just hoping that they move past the derivative nature of it. We're not really pushing a lot of envelopes and doing anything especially new. It's a little bit too throwbacky, and I don't need it to like full on reinvent the wheel. But there's nothing real original in it yet. It was kind of nice just to see these guys capable of at least mimicking the Star Trek I have liked in the past. Now that I know they can do that, I would like them to move on and try some new things and do something a little bit more original with it. But anyway. Adam March, how is King Kirby? They haven't started yet. That begins next week, and I'm going to go next Friday. So when that's a local play. For those of you that didn't see the last Captain Logan show, I did an interview with the cast who came here in the bunker. We had a delightful time. They stayed till midnight. We played video games. It was great. But those guys are doing a play in the West Bottoms here in Kansas City called King Kirby, about the life and career of Jack Kirby, and I'm going to go see it next Friday, and I'm not going to do a full-on review, of course, but I'll tell you a little bit about it on the next Captain Logan show. Let's see. I can stay for another 10 or 15 minutes here. Rainbow Nightmare, the IMAX enhanced was the default thing when I watched it, hence why I said the whole thing was formatted for IMAX, not just select scenes like with Nolan's movie. Okay, well, that's probably why I didn't notice. But yeah, I mean, I had read about that. People made a big deal out of it, that it was going to be, in the IMAX format. But I didn't notice. So if I had known, maybe I would have paid closer attention and I could tell, but just playing it on a projector screen, I didn't really notice it. Grill and Pirate Pete, I heard a fan theory that Strange New Worlds is the illusion world that the Telosians are providing for Admiral Pike. That's kind of silly, because I wouldn't think that I don't want to spoil too much for that show for folks that haven't seen it, but I wouldn't think that the Telosians would have, that Pike's ideal world that he would kind of create for himself through the Telosians' illusions would have him worried that he was going to be paralyzed within the next decade, and wrestling with the morality of whether or not to let that happen. So that's I don't know. People are thinking, I guess, but that's an odd notion. And I'm not sure why he would go back in time like that in the Telosians' world, because, of course, that hasn't happened yet. So if that were the case, then in the menagerie, at the end of that would mean that Pike goes back to Talos 4, and in his mind, he transports himself back 10 years. I don't know why he would do that. And also, Vena's not there. And the whole idea is that he gets to live his life out with her because he fell in love with her. So, yeah, that's an odd theory. Have you watched Talkville yet? GGG? No, I have not. I don't know if I'm going to. I mean, I might check out a little bit of it. I don't know that I have the time to keep up with it week to week. But yeah, he's referring to Rosenbaum's new podcast that I think he's doing with Tom Welling. I don't know if they've got guests or who else is coming in. I have just heard a couple of our viewers mention it. I've not actually looked into it. But apparently they're doing a Crypto Freaks-esque, like, episode-to-episode look at that show. I don't know if it's commentaries. I think they're just watching it and then talking about it after the fact. John Ty, what did you think of the actor playing Kirk in Strange New Worlds? I thought he was fine. Again, sorry for the spoilers, guys. But we've known for a while that Kirk was going to be in that show. Originally, I think the news was he was being cast for season 2, so I'm assuming he's going to show up some there too. But he did show up in that last episode and was prominently featured. He was okay. I hope he grows more into the role. I feel like I've seen him in things. Maybe he was in a Smallville episode. I know he's a CW guy. Was he like a Vampire's Diary actor, or I don't right off know who that is, but I recognize him. I knew I'd seen him in things. But I thought his performance was really good. I just wasn't seeing Kirk in him. Like, I thought if he were cast for some other captain, he'd be fine. And they kept talking about him like he was Kirk. And it was almost like everybody around him had to describe TOS, traditional Captain Kirk, to convince the audience that that's who we were looking at. I think it might be somewhat miscast, to be brutally honest with you. I think the actor did a fine job. I just don't know if he's quite right for it. Hopefully he grows into it. Hopefully I'll start to see Kirk. It didn't take 10 minutes for me with Pine. And with him, I'm like, I see him in this universe. I see him as a starship captain. I see him as a totally capable, but, jumping in head first, doesn't believe in the no-win scenario, like all the Kirk stuff. But he was a little too, maybe, I don't know if no-nonsense is the right word. And, like, he smiled and stuff. It's not like he didn't have any charisma. It just wasn't really Kirk charisma. It wasn't Shatner charisma. And I don't want him to just do a Shatner. And Pine didn't do that either, but Pine just kind of naturally had it, so he didn't have to pretend to do a Shatner to pull off, seeming like Captain Kirk. And this guy I don't think was quite, I'm not sure he's right for it. Grill and Pirate Pete, I never heard your opinion on the online Beyond Trek episodes. What did you think of them? I'm not totally sure what you're talking about, honestly. That's not the short treks, is it? I haven't seen all of that stuff, and I'm not sure what you mean by Beyond Trek. Guys, just a couple more minutes, and then I have got to get going. I thought I had a little more time than I did, but now I'm looking at the clock, and yeah, about 5 minutes. I got to get going. I can't believe you, let's see, Ernst Talk 20, can't believe you didn't ride the Hulk coaster. Director Joe Dante mentioned that Baby Yoda is a Gizmo ripoff. Oh, he's just mentioning lots of different things. I did read about that. I agree, and I'd say the Minions were a Gremlins ripoff as well. Your thoughts? Okay, so the first part of that, I would have maybe done the Hulk ride if Jason wanted to, but I was somewhat handcuffed by my 12-year-old who just didn't want to do thrill rides like that. Jason is more of a researcher and explorer kind of kid. He wanted to go and see what was there, look around, explore, check stuff out more than he wanted to do rides. And we did a few rides, but that wasn't his main interest, and it was his trip, and I'm not going to make my kid go on things that he's not comfortable going on or isn't interested in. So that's why we didn't do that. But anyway, and then as far as the Gizmo thing, yeah, I can see it, except the question is, how different does Baby Yoda look from Yoda versus the Gizmo and the Gremlins characters, right? Like, okay, yeah, you put him up next to a Gremlin, and having a younger Yoda, he kind of looks like a Gremlin. But if you took Yoda and you just try to make him look younger, I kind of think that's about what you'd end up with, right? Like, his head is still shaped like Yoda. It's still Yoda. It's just a baby Yoda. So, I don't know. I thought that was a little bit of a silly complaint. I also never understand this months and years after the fact. Like, they're working on the 3rd season of Mandalorian, and that guy's just now coming out and complaining about that? Like, did you just wait until the sales figures for the merchandising got to a certain dollar amount? Like, I don't understand that. Hi, Ricardo. How you doing, man? He is a longtime viewer from the Netherlands. I really appreciate you, buddy. JDF 1217, any chance of Star Trek Club returning to the channel? Yeah, there's a chance. I've got a little bit more free time now than I did before, but some of it is just, like, finding an evening. I'm really committed to rewinds, the unscripted rewind thing weekly now, and that takes up some time. I lose a whole evening that I might otherwise be streaming to prepare for that show. And then Tuesdays, I've got to do requests. And Wednesdays, I have been doing a show with my son, but that's also kind of a family night. So if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't be replacing it with another show probably. And Brandon's got plans these days for Wednesdays anyway, so that day is out. Thursday night's the Captain Logan show. Friday night is the show I've been doing with Austin, or rather, various different things, commentaries and mini marathons and things like that, comic vaults every now and again. And then Monday is the day that I usually prepare for the Tuesday show. So, I mean, I'm already pretty booked up, so I'm not sure where I'd put it right now, but I would like to do it. It's just hard to prioritize because that's one of those things that not a ton of people are interested in. And so, you know, it's something that only gets 200-300 views. It's hard to put on in front of things that more of the audience is into, even though I would definitely like to be doing that. And if time were no object, I don't care about the view count, but I do have to think about that a little bit when I have, you know, more limited time. So anyway, that's why I'm not doing that at the moment. It started with just I didn't have time because I was taking care of you know, the twin newborns. They just turned 1 3 days ago, by the way. Yesterday was, or 2 days ago, I should say, was Mikey's birthday. So I guess the girls turned 1 4 days ago now. We're going to have their birthday party next weekend, which is why I'm still taking off, because I got family coming into town and staying all through Sunday, so I can't do my show that night. So anyway, that's why 3 weeks in a row I'm not doing Rewind. But the next episode, the week after that, is, if all goes according to plan, is going to be on The Lone Ranger. That movie from, goodness, almost a decade ago now. G-Stone, I had not heard that. He says Craig McCracken is returning to Powerpuff Girls. I want to say good, although only if he really, really wants to do it. He got very burnt out on that show and never seemed that interested in doing any more of it, so I hope somebody didn't just twist his arm real hard. I hope he actually really wants to come back and do that show, but I would love more episodes of that in the original style, because I think there's still more fun, silly stories they could tell, and there's a lot of great stuff done in comics that easily could have been episodes. So by all means, if he's actually committed to it. Yeah, I know, Adam March, isn't it crazy that they're already a year old? Hi Ty, how you doing, man? AMC Comics, Cap, are you going to keep the square-offs coming? Honestly, it seems like a lot of folks inexplicably dropped off the platform as of late. Thoughts? Yeah, I would like to keep doing that. I was experimenting with it a lot, and I know those guys. They've been great. The guys that run square-offs. I keep meaning to get back to that, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But I was trying the shorts thing for a while, which didn't take off the way I was kind of hoping it would, and it just, not that they take a lot of time to make or anything, of course, just, you know, come up with a question and turn a camera on myself. I don't mean to, you know, use the I don't have time excuse for everything, but it was kind of getting in the way, I think, of view counts for other videos, where it was oversaturating things, and the couple of weeks that I was putting those out constantly, I was losing subscribers, and I think people just don't like their inboxes flooded real hard with that stuff. And then I was focusing on other stuff and just hadn't done them for a while. Hey, I went to the mall today. I thought I'd show you guys something cool that I got. This is the first, I want to say the first piece of anime merchandise I've ever bought. I reviewed Death Note a few months ago, and I keep meaning to do another anime thing. I haven't done that yet. But today I found this really cool scroll from Death Note at the mall. And I bought that. I have no idea where that's going to go yet. But look, the first piece of anime merchandise I've ever bought. Isn't that pretty? Isn't it snazzy? That's really cool. So, anyway, well, guys, thanks a lot for popping in. I'm going to have to go ahead and get going because my son has to go to dance. And I just wanted to check in with you real quick and let you know, and I'll fold this up in a minute, let you know that I'm still alive and still planning on making more videos and testing my webcam to see if, does it look any better? Can anybody tell the difference? I hope so, because I spent some early birthday money on it. So anyway, thanks a bunch for being here, guys. People are telling me about other Lone Ranger things. I might, down the road, go back to older Lone Ranger things, but that was a request, which is the reason I'm reviewing it. So, yeah. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you soon. Like I said, I would like to come back and maybe do another random improv stream like this once or twice before August. I'm thinking about maybe reviewing some comics. I don't know yet. Or it might just be like this, where I just pop in and chat with you for a while and do kind of a mini Captain Logan show or something. But I'll be around. If I go see a movie, I'll review it. I actually am going to see a movie tonight, but it's not a new movie. I have a standing tradition with Adam, speaking of Star Trek Club, and Brandon's coming with us too, where every time Wrath of Khan is in the theater, we have to go see it. This will be, I think, our 4th, if not 5th time going, but Wrath of Khan is playing tonight. It's an anniversary year, and it's going to play again in November, so we're going to go twice this year. He was like, do you want to just wait and go in November, or do you want to go both times? And I was like, it's Wrath of Khan, it's in the theater. We always go. And if there's any old Star Trek movie in the theater, we usually try to go, but if it's Wrath of Khan, we absolutely have to. It's our tradition. So anyway, thanks again, guys. I hope you had a good time, and I certainly did. I will see you again real soon. Bye, folks.